I'm so happy to be here with you, Bill, and I know you're super busy and your schedule is incredible. We've been reading up on you and reading about the scheduled plays, and it's so exciting. Someone who's lived here forever, it's a thrill, and it's just a pleasure. So thank you
It's
for
great
taking
to
the
have
time.
you here in my office.
Besides being artistic director for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is a huge job, you also are directing and co-directing 2 of the plays this year. And one of them, I noticed with Tracy Young, that you had to rewrite from 3 different plays. And so tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a very unusual project. It's called Medea, Macbeth, Cinderella, and it's Euripides, Greek tragedy, Shakespeare's tragedy, and Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical of Cinderella, and they all happen at the same time on the same stage. If you can imagine that.
I can hardly wait.
It's something I started working on when I was 20 years old. So it's been a very long-term passion project of mine, and this is actually the 4th iteration of this project. And so we're building on a lot of history, but I can't imagine better audiences than anywhere in the world for this piece than OSF's audiences. I think people are going to eat it up.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I can't believe it.
And this is a special year because we have 2 American Revolutions plays this year, in this presidential election year.
Right, Lyndon Johnson, right?
I'm directing a play called All the Way, a world premiere that looks at LBJ's first 11 months in office.
Wow.
From Kennedy's assassination through his election in '64. It's a really exciting play.
Oh my gosh.
And then running in rep with it is going to be a play, a very, very musical, collage-based piece that looks at the history of the Black Panthers and the Puerto Rican nationalist movement, the Young Lords. And those 2 pieces are going to be running in rep right up until 2 days before we re-elect or elect our next president.
Oh man,
So
timely.
it's going to be incredible,
It
right?
really is.
To watch how the audience's response change over the course of the election cycle. It's going to be really interesting.
It will be.
I just reread All the Way, the OBJ play, and my response to it now completely different than 3 months ago.
Is that
just
right?
because of what's happening in the country.
Oh yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It is tiresome and fascinating
Absolutely.
all at the same time.
Our cycle of plays where we look at moments of change in United States history,
right?
To better illuminate where we're at right now as a country and where we're headed. And so far, all the American Revolutions plays that we've committed to producing are going on to other productions and other theaters around the country.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
The one thing I was thinking about, Romeo and Juliet, you're playing that this year. And, I mean, so many of us have seen it so many, many times. And so how do you make it different and create that excitement about seeing a play you've seen many times?
One of the reasons that I'm glad that Shakespeare is our middle name is that we do come back to his plays again and again, of course, but every time it's different. And this particular production of Romeo and Juliet, the director Laird Williamson has a very smart idea. It's set in 1840s Alta California. So it's the kind of Mexican land barons, the Californios as they were called, just on the verge of statehood. So all, those beautiful mid-19th century costumes, and then all of that interesting, the cultural politics of, the Capulets wanting to marry their family, their daughter into an American military family, because they know statehood is coming. So I think it's the pressures going on in that part of the world at that moment. So I think it's going to be beautiful, but also really thought-provoking.
It's going to be so exciting. Yeah, I had some friends that were coming up, and they wanted to see Romeo and Juliet the last time it was played. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, that'd be fine. But I said, look, if it doesn't just hold me, I'm going to leave it to half, because I've seen it so many times.
Yes.
And then I was sitting there absolutely so taken in.
Was this on the outdoor stage?
It was.
I directed that
one. Oh my gosh! And I was like, really?
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just taken. I was just
good.
taken with it. I just loved it.
We had a wonderful cast.
It was fabulous.
Yeah. Why animal crackers?
Why animal crackers?
Well, I think that it's no coincidence that the Marx Brothers thrived at a time of economic challenge in the Great Depression, and we need to laugh.
We do.
We always need to laugh, and I think we need to laugh in times that are fraught, and it is sheer glorious silliness.
Goody.
It's just incredibly funny, and it's actually what a lot of people don't know is the famous Marx Brothers movie Animal Crackers was actually based on a vaudeville musical that was written for the Marx Brothers, so that it started as a Broadway show in 1928. And then lots of the songs were cut. There are a few songs in the movie, but there are many more songs in the Broadway musical. And then they filmed it as a movie in 1930, and of course that's one of their greatest hits. So we're doing a version of the 1928 Broadway vaudeville musical.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
I'm going to have to hurry. More tickets.
Yeah, it's going to be one not to be missed.
You know, one thing that I think was really, really fabulous for locals was that the beginning of the season, you know, the discount, you know, for locals. And that, I think, was really generous and just, you know, really a nice thing to offer people. And I think maybe, you know, I've seen people who maybe haven't gone to the plays before who all of a sudden went, you know, they said, I mean, I'm going to go. And that they've gone and now they're like, oh my gosh, they're just hooked. You know, and
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many ways to get into festival shows at reasonable rates. You know, we've got $21 tickets for every performance.
Wow.
In the C section of seats, every theater, every performance, as long as they're until they're sold out. We've got flex passes for locals, which are terrific because they're very flexible. You get 5 tickets for a flex pass. You can have 5 people see one play, one person can see 5 plays. You know, you can use them in any way. And they used to only be good in the spring and the fall, but now we're making them so that they're usable year round.
Fantastic.
So there are many others, but those are just 2 of the main ones.
That's fantastic. And then also people can take maybe get their children. You know, one thing too that we've done is that we'll use the tickets for our clients.
Yes.
And that we're like,
nice.
oh, are you, you know, maybe they ask us, oh, we understand you have a little theater here. We're like, oh, yes, we do.
A little theater, yes.
Yes, we do.
We'll take you over to our little theater.
So we get the biggest kick out of that. We just love that when they say that. We're like, yes. In fact, we'll, you know, we get you 2 tickets for this evening. And how do people get involved? I mean, how, you know, just.
It's an impressive statistic that we have about 550 people on staff here. But what's even more impressive is that we have over 600 volunteers.
Oh my gosh.
We thrive on volunteers.
Exactly.
And anyone watching this should know, come on down. We would love you to come and volunteer, to get involved as a sponsor, as a donor. There are many, many ways to get involved.
Tickets don't cover that. They don't cover everything, obviously, because you have so many sponsors at each play. So how do they interact, and how are you able to expand your repertory because of that?
Individual contributors, business contributors make a huge difference. We have the Artistic Director Circle where individuals sponsor plays. We have business partners and sponsors on all our plays. It's vital. You're absolutely right, because ticket sales only cover a certain percentage, and the rest of the cost we have to raise through contributions.
Exactly, that's what I thought. So we'll try and find people who would love to.
That'd be great.
love to continue to support what you're doing here.
2012 season, I've coined it the season of abundance in my welcome letter in the playbill, and it's true. It's unbelievable because we have 4 Shakespeare plays, 2 of them in very beautiful period productions, 2 of them more contemporary. We've got 2 adaptations of Shakespeare on top of the 4 Shakespeare plays. We have 4 new works. We've got the vaudeville musical comedy of Animal Crackers. The season is just packed with adventure. So I hope everybody will come down and check out as many of the shows as possible. Thanks.